questions for Coach Atkins. We'll start with Justin.
So how do you maybe find the balance of getting other receivers involved while also feeding T-Mac?
That's a great question. T is obviously an amazing player, and everyone in Tucson knows that. But also, everyone across the country knows that. And so he is dictating a lot of coverage, which opens up opportunities for other guys. And we just need to make sure when those opportunities pop up that we are capitalizing on that. And then likewise, when we do get opportunities based on the coverage to get the ball in Forrest's hands, we need to make sure that we're getting the ball in Forrest's hands.
What were you seeing in terms of coverage when you watched the Colorado film on him?
Just a lot of bracket, playing two people on him. And each team within their identity is going to have a different way of trying to take care of that. And one of the challenges for us is each week trying to figure out our best guess at how they're going to do that. But there was a lot of two people playing over the top of them.
It looks like the last few teams have been throwing a lot of blitz, just a lot of extra guys toward the line to try to speed things up, and maybe there's been some uncovered guys. How do you plan for that? I mean, do you need to have more guys in, knowing that's going to happen, and then they just end up not blocking someone if they don't come in?
Well, I think a big piece for us is trying to stay on schedule in terms of down and distance. And so when we get way behind the sticks, obviously we become a little bit more one-dimensional, and we open ourselves up to those things. When we are playing our best football, we are in a good second down situation and in a good third down situation. And when we're in those spots, we're seeing less of those things. And on top of that, we have the threat of the run or the pass. So for us, a huge emphasis is trying to be on schedule more consistently and trying to be more efficient early in the set of sticks.
Justin, since the first time you met him, in what ways has Quali Conley improved as a running back, and what do you think about the importance of this game for him and his mom?
Q is one of my favorite players on the whole entire team. Obviously, I've been around him with our time at San Jose State for a while now. He is one of, if not the most dependable kids on the team. He's tough. He is extremely low maintenance. He just works and works. He's not going to talk a whole lot. He's just one of the guys that you know that you can depend on. If we ever have something that's challenging schematically, the easiest answer is put Q in, because you know Q is going to be able to handle it. And on top of that, just some of the things that he's been through. He's also like an inspiration to me with the way that he's handled them, and how you can never really tell. Like, his body language is always kind of the same. And yeah, these last 2 years, I've just been incredibly impressed with the young man that he is. Outside of, obviously, a fantastic football player, but he's one of the kids that you're happy is in your program.
And the importance of this game with his mom, what have you heard about that?
With Q, I mean, you and all my time with him, that's one of the things you can't really tell, because he's one of the kids, and he's what you want. It's never too high, it's never too low, it's always right in the middle. And so I'm sure for him, there's a huge level of importance on it, but he works the same way every single day, regardless of what he's going through, the ups and the downs. Now, obviously, knowing the background, knowing that there's going to be a little bit more for him, but that's one of the things I love about him is he doesn't ride big emotional waves up or down. You know, he's one of those kids who stays extremely steady.
Jason?
When you're game planning for an opponent, because the last few weeks you'll have some new wrinkles, is it
Yep.
something that you'll draw up on a Monday and implement, or is it something that's kind of in the playbook and it's just you're calling it?
A little bit of both. And, obviously at certain spots we've had a little bit of a revolving door. And so really just trying to get the best 11 on the field. And just the way that's played out, it's been a little bit dynamic that way. And on top of that, trying to give ourselves an advantage over the opponent, something that they haven't seen. But we try and get that stuff done early in the week.
And then I think I asked Coach Brennan this, but what is your philosophy on balance? Like, if, for instance, Neil Brown had mentioned earlier in his presser yesterday that they've done really well against the run, but everybody knows, that they've struggled a lot against the pass. Will you go into a game saying we need to be balanced, or Are there games where it's just like, we're just gonna do what we need to do?
We are always trying to stay balanced. And a huge part for me is making sure that we are efficient in the right spots so we can remain balanced. And for us, I think, first down efficiency is a huge number. I think last week we were only, 35% on first down efficiency, which isn't good enough for us. Because kind of alluding to, it's married to the pressure question from earlier, is you get yourself off schedule and all of a sudden you're in known passing downs and you're starting to get and sometimes it's just four-man rush, but they know, right? And you can see the whites of their knuckles from those defensive ends that they don't have to defend a run, they just have to defend the pass. The best version of us will be balanced, where we are running the ball efficiently, we are throwing quick game efficiently, but we're also able to be aggressive down the field. And at times, that's shown up. And at times, we've gotten ourselves so far off schedule, whether it be holding, whether that be ushering ourselves in the foot with a drop, but just being consistently on schedule so that we can be more balanced.
Ryan? I think we're going to be talking to Chris Hunter here in a little bit. What has he done to get himself the role that he's found for himself to be part of the rotation like that?
Yep, I think he might be one of, if not the best practice players on offense. He consistently goes, he's consistently available. I can't think of a practice where he has shut himself down. And every single time that he's going, he is going. And when you practice with that type of intensity, like good things just start happening for you. And on top of that, he has the speed where that is a big benefit for us offensively. And so, and the way that he has worked throughout practice makes you feel like I think there's still a little bit more to come in terms of, I still think there's going to be a game or two where everyone walks away saying, wow, he's a heck of a player and did a great job.
Justin?
What's your scouting report of West Virginia?
Good. They are multiple on defense. The defensive coordinator does a really nice job. There's some pressures we're going to have to deal with. They're athletic. Their front sticks out to me in terms of their ability to both stop the run and get after the passer. And so we're going to have to do the same keys that I've been talking to you guys about for a couple weeks. Take care of the ball, be efficient, and then when we have our shots to be aggressive, make sure that we capitalize on it. And then obviously the biggest thing is making sure the Wildcats have the ball at the end of each play.
Knowing that the offensive line is a little banged up and has had to be shuffled, and also without giving away the game plan, what are some of the things you can do to get the ball out of Noah's hands quicker, so that there isn't so much pressure on him and on the line?
Yep. What I can tell you, because you're right, I do not want, I listen to the opponents of this every single week. I do not want to give away the game plan at all. What I'll tell you is that is of mass importance to our staff, and our communication is surrounding that in a major way, and we need to make sure that is either getting out of his hand or he is protected.
Last question to Justin.
So the offense leading up to last week, it was struggling to score the ball. It seemed like maybe you guys kind of took a step back.
Yep.
Why do you think that happened?
As always, there's a lot of variables there. I think, like I said, the biggest number to me in that game was first down efficiency and putting ourselves in a great spot on first down. And then you have to give credit to the way that Colorado played. I mean, the front got after us a little bit. We have to be better in that space. Obviously, there's a little bit of a revolving door there, but that is no excuse. We as a program and as a coaching staff need to find a way to make sure that doesn't impact us as much as it did. And then, we had a sack fumble in there, just some of those things that have kind of plagued us throughout the year. We have to make sure we're taking care of the football.
All right, that's our time.
Thank you, guys.
So, Quali, what can you tell us about this tradition that you and your mother have where she comes in and braids your hair?
It started back at my first school, Utah Tech or Dixie State. She just come up to every home game and she come and braid my hair because she's the only person that I know like that could braid my hair, and I just very grateful that she drives to every of my home games everywhere I went to come braid my hair.
Is that something that started only in college, or did she braid your hair?
She braid my hair in high school. Then I went to one other person, and like they didn't get it right. So then like from there on, my mom just kept braiding my hair.
Is there like a specific style that you always do, or is it the same one, or you?
It's up to my mom because I don't want her to do like too much to my hair. 'Cause I know all the stuff, so I'll just the basic 4 braids that she could do.
Coach Brennan told us that your mom is going through breast cancer. I think he said for the second time. This is a breast cancer awareness month and a theme of the game. What can you tell us about her health and her situation?
She going through chemo right now, radiation. So, she's a little sick. So like she's just fighting through that, and she out here with me for a week. So I'm just taking care of her and all that type of stuff.
How would you describe your relationship with her?
I love my mom, and it's hard to see her struggle like this. But at the end of the day, I'm here for her and my brothers and sisters.
So, Chris, obviously had a breakout game last game. How would you describe your time at Arizona so far, and how you've been able to become a part of the offense?
Yeah, I mean, Arizona was the ones who took me in very young, coming out my senior year. So just since the first day I got here, it was nothing but love, especially when Coach Brennan and his staff came in. They kind of, gave me the task, just pushing me, to be the best man I could be, the best player I could be. Coach, Bobby Wade, Coach Caleb, they took their time really developing me, giving me tools that I didn't have, instilling confidence into me. I think that was one of the biggest, things about me, growing up as a player. So, coming into this offense, this scheme, just the confidence they put into me and the trust that they put into me helped me develop, try to continue to develop my game. Obviously, they trust me to put me in, play me more. So, just that confidence, that trust.
And then, tell us about, you grew up in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Went to Newman High School. Tell us about life growing up there.
New Orleans, down in the South, you'll have a lot of love, Southern hospitality, a lot of people rooting for you back home. Going to Newman, I went there 5th grade, just to get into, a good environment, good academics, good athletics. And then growing up there, I had a great support system. My mom and dad, my sisters, my brother, they always pushed me in any way possible. And, New Orleans is very diverse, very culturally diverse. A lot of good food, a lot of good people. So, like, Newman, it was just like, it wasn't the easiest transition into that school, but it was like, the perfect environment for me to be in, being in New Orleans. So that was pretty cool.
Chris, do you play CFB 25?
I did when it first came out, not as much no more, just busy schedule.
I guess I understand that the play you scored on is one that works a lot in that game.
I seen our playbook, I seen the play in that game. I've ran it a few times, you put yourself in the game. So I've run it a few times in the game, I will say that.
But that just in general, just being able to score that touchdown, describe the experience of your first college team.
It's something you dream of, since you're a little kid, being in that moment, in that scenario. So, Quali, he gave me a great block on that play. And once I got in that end zone, it's just like a big sigh of relief, like finally. I feel like I truly arrived in that moment, just for me personally. And, it kind of gives you chills. You hear the crowd pop. It's a great feeling,
Chris, you were teammates with Arch Manning?
Yeah.
Is that right? What kind of a guy?
He was a cool, real, super down-to-earth dude, one of the coolest people you'll ever meet, you know, super humble, super chill. You know, his dad too. They helped me along the way. You know, just cool people to be around. Sure.
What kind of a ball player?
Competitor. You know, he always competing day in, day out. I mean, if you were to ask him, he probably would have said he was faster than me. I mean, we proved it in races and stuff, but, you know, just like competitor, and that's all you want to be around, competitors.
So when you transitioned to Newman, you said it was kind of a difficult transition for you. What was so difficult about it?
Just I went from a public elementary school, Alice Hart, and I then went into Newman, which was a private school. And so, you know, just coming from a public environment to a private environment, just like being accustomed to, it was you have a little more freedom, I'd say, in the sense that I had free periods. I never had that before in school. The buildings and everything was way bigger. I never had that before. So it kind of like, I felt like, not an adult, but I felt I was forced to be older a little quicker in that environment I was in, and just the kids I was around. You know, it was just culturally different in that instance. So that was the only difficult part, I'd say, but it wasn't nothing too difficult. It was just like something to get used to.
And then, Quali, for you during this time with your mom, what does it mean to you to have coaches and teammates rally around you?
I'm just grateful. I feel like Coach Brennan allowing me to wear pink this game is like means so much to me, to show like it's for my mom, and I'm just grateful.
Brian. So, Quali, last year at San Jose, you guys started off 1-5 and then kind of went on a run and turned around. What do you remember about that enabled you guys to turn that around, and how can you maybe use that experience here?
Last year, I mean, we was like in the same spot. Like the brotherhood at San Jose, like we knew like, oh, we can't just have a losing season. So I felt like every day during practice, we just competed. And I felt like after the first win, we said, let's make it 2 in a row. Let's make it 3 in a row. And after that, we just like, let's win all the rest of the games. Then we like, when it was 105, we knew like if we win all the games, we have a chance for the #1 spot in the Mountain West. And I feel like everybody drove to like become the #1 team. So.
Quali, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters and 3 brothers.
And are you the youngest, the oldest, somewhere in the middle?
Somewhere in the middle child, yes.
What is the name Quali? Does it have any meaning that you know of, or what?
No, my parents just got it from a song. Yeah. No.
I think in the back.
Well, what is keeping you motivated as your family's going through this tough time?
My mom, my dad, because the first time my mom got cancer, she was pregnant with my little sister back in 2017, I believe. So just her just going through like the chemo and being pregnant, and just comes to all our games. And I have siblings, so my parents, they try to make it to every one of our games. And just like all the sacrifices my parents like went through for all of their kids. And I'm just very grateful. And I'm just playing football just for them, and just try to make their lives a little bit easier.
Quali, Coach Atkins mentioned you as being dependable. Like no matter what happens, he knows what he's getting when he puts you on the field. Why is that important to you?
It's important to me because being a running back, like you see now in the NFL, like they don't care about running backs. So being dependable is like staying on the field all like 3 downs and like bring more to the table than just running the ball. It's also blocking and like making sure you know you're doing the right stuff at the right time.
Chris, so you went from kind of being the guy to then being a practice player and working your way up. What did you learn about yourself as a player during that time?
I mean, really, I took when I was on the scout team, my freshman and my sophomore year, I took that as, you know, I'm going against the one defense. You know what I mean? I was able to try to really hone my craft, work on my skills, you know, target figure out what my weaknesses were as a receiver and really use that time to work on that. I mean, I was competing every day in scout. I mean, I was treating it like I was, in the game, like really going. So I didn't take those reps or nothing for granted, and I feel like that I kind of still continue that to this day. So those times really allowed me to like work on my craft. I'm going against the one corners, and if you see our corners, 6'4", 4'3" runner guys, like legit. So using that time like really helped me as a receiver to hone my skills.
I was asking who were the DBs who really helped you?
Oh, I mean, Takario Davis, the guy we got now. I mean, he a monster. You see him. I used to try to compete against him every day. It helped that he was my roommate. So after practice, we would go home. He'd give me pointers here and there. So going against him, and obviously our guy last year, Efi, he helped me. Even Emmanuel Carnley, who starts for us now, I was going against him too. They're really good corners. You know what I'm saying? So those reps really helped me out.
Chris, you described how happy you were in relief to score a touchdown. You guys have had like early success in games, like one really good drive, and haven't really been able to sustain it over the course of the game. What do you think is the key to unlocking the offense and being able to do that multiple times in the game?
I mean, our offense we're a really sound offense. We got guys across the board. We have a great scheme. We're just uplifting each other in the offense. You know what I'm saying? We're I think really we have a lot of young guys, you know what I'm saying? So instilling confidence into each one of us, giving us the motivation, the ability, the power to just push through and finish drives, you know what I'm saying? Like we're going to figure this out. We're going to thrive as an offense. Like it's coming. It's coming. So, we have our coaches instill confidence into us every single day. Like our offense, is nothing to worry about. We'll be straight.
Atkins said probably that, you're not riding emotional waves, but obviously this is an emotional time. And how would you say that this has maybe changed your mindset with how you're receiving going into this Saturday's game and games in general?
Like I said, it was being grateful. Although this is my last year, so I'm just taking each game and just playing like the best I can. But just playing it for my mom is it's huge now because the cancer came back, and just seeing her sitting through all her pain, her suffering, and I'm just giving all I got.
All right, that's our time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.